Welcome everyone, join us today as we delve into the life and legacy of the legendary Glenn Frey, the co-founder of the Eagles and a pivotal figure in the world of rock music. So let's dive in. Glenn Lewis Frey, born November 6, 1948 in Detroit, Michigan, United States of America. Frey grew up in nearby Royal Oak, where his sharp intellect placed him in a class for gifted students early on. He participated in various sports, including a period on the wrestling team. Outgoing, energetic, and handsome, he was popular among his peers and had a charm that appealed to many. During the mid-60s, Detroit was a vibrant musical hub, and Frey eagerly joined the scene. After initially taking piano lessons, he switched to guitar, teaching himself to play, partly inspired by a Beatles concert. While attending Dondero High School, he formed a band called Subterraneans, named after Jack Kerouac's novel. The band included classmates Doug Edwards on drums, later replaced by Lenny Mintz, Doug Gunch and Bill Barnes on guitar, with Jeff Hodge on bass. In 1966, after graduating from Dondero, Frey joined the Four of Us, a local band led by Gary Burrows, who had noticed him performing with the Subterraneans. Frey attended Oakland Community College while playing with the band, where he learned to sing harmonies. In 1967, he formed the Mushrooms with Gary Burrows' brother Jeff, Bill Barnes, Doug Gunch, Ken Bash, and Lenny Mintz. That year, Frey also met Bob Seger, who helped him secure a management and recording contract with Hideout Records, a label formed by Seger's management team. Seger wrote and produced the Mushrooms' first single, Such a Lovely Child, and the band promoted it through television appearances. Although Frey intended to join Seger's band, his mother prevented this due to Frey's cannabis use with Seger. Later in 1967, Frey formed another band called Heavy Metal Kids with Jeff Burrows on piano, Jeff Alborel on bass, Paul Kelcourse on lead guitar, and Lance Dickerson on drums. At 19 in 1968, Frey played acoustic guitar and provided background vocals on Bob Seger's single, Rambling Gambling Man. Seger greatly influenced Frey, encouraging him to focus on writing original songs. Their friendship continued over the years, with Frey contributing vocals to Seger's songs such as Fire Lake and Against the Wind. In Detroit, Frey dated Joan Sliwin of the Mama Cats, later known as Honey Limited, when the group moved to California in 1968. Frey followed Joan to Los Angeles, where he met J.D. Souther through her sister, Alexandra Sliwin, who was dating Souther at the time. After briefly returning to Detroit, Frey went back to Los Angeles to form the duo Long Branch Penny Whistle with Souther. They signed with Amos Records and released an album in 1969, featuring Frey's compositions like Run Boy Run, Rebecca, and Bring Back Funky Women, co-written with Souther. During this period, Frey also befriended Jackson Browne, and the three musicians shared an apartment building for a while. Frey later credited Browne with teaching him much about songwriting by listening to Browne work on songs in the apartment below. The guys began frequenting the Troubadour, a popular club among emerging rock musicians. One of the more successful regulars, Linda Ronstadt, took a liking to Frey and invited him to join her touring band in 1971. It was also at the Troubadour that Frey met Don Henley. Recognizing Henley's talent, Frey invited him to join Linda's touring band as well, but he had a bigger plan in mind, forming his own band with Henley. By this time, Long Branch Penny Whistle was over. David Geffen had signed both J.D. and Frey to his record company, but not as a duo. He had split them up, making J.D. a solo act and telling Frey he needed a band to be marketable. Meanwhile, Henley's group Shiloh was failing, and Henley was on the verge of returning to Texas. At this low point, Frey approached Henley, befriended him, and shared his plan, winning Henley over completely. With the help of Ronstadt and her manager, John Boylan, Frey also recruited Bernie Leadon and Randy Meisner, two other talented and respected members of Ronstadt's backup band. Frey presented this new group to Geffen, and soon they would be known as the Eagles, forever changing the rock and roll landscape. The Eagles rose to become one of the most successful bands of the decade and one of the best-selling groups in history. From their debut self-titled album Eagles, they consistently produced hits. This album was recorded in England over 2 weeks with producer Glyn Johns. Although Frey had some conflicts with John's strict, paternalistic approach, which included a no-drugs policy and limited input from band members, John's methods undeniably pushed them to use their time effectively. Their second album, Desperado, didn't achieve the same commercial success as their debut. However, its refined conceptual approach highlighted the evolving musical ideas of Frey and Henley. Over time, the album gained the recognition it deserved for its high quality and artistic depth. With their third album, On the Border, the Eagles solidified their status as household names with the hit Best of My Love, penned by Frey, Henley, and Souther. Frey's journey to stardom was well underway. This period was exhilarating for the Eagles, but also marked by growing egos. Frey and Henley had established themselves as the band's power duo. They decided to shift towards a more rock-oriented sound, bringing in Don Felder and sidelining Bernie Leadon, who left in 1975 after the completion of their fourth album, One of These Nights. Leadon was replaced by Joe Walsh. Frey viewed One of These Nights as a pivotal album for his songwriting partnership with Henley. During this time, they lived together, spending countless hours drinking, jamming, and talking, which consistently resulted in great music. The Eagles achieved their commercial zenith with the immense success of Hotel California, a concept album exploring the disillusionment that accompanies the darker aspects of fame. The pressure to continually achieve higher sales with subsequent albums heightened the tensions within the band. Randy Meisner was the next to depart in 1977, leaving Frey and Henley as the only original members remaining. Timothy B. Schmidt, another former member of Poco, stepped in to fill Meisner's place. Amidst their soaring success, the Eagles' indulgences grew alongside their fame. Frey described their entourage on tour as a traveling party, with plentiful alcohol, groupies, and drugs aplenty, a lifestyle that continued long after the tours ended. Initially, it mirrored a hedonistic dream surpassing any Life magazine fantasy, but it took a toll. Frey's own drug use reached alarming levels, prompting a need for change, eventually quitting in the mid-80s. In 1978, he decided to settle down with Texas debutante Janie Beggs, stepping away from the carousel of women that defined his earlier years. Their marriage in 1983 marked a union of opposites, but by 1986, they divorced, often humorously referenced by Frey as plaintiff, during live performances of song Lying Eyes. Changes were also brewing in his professional career. While conflicts had always simmered within the band, tensions reached a boiling point during the production of The Long Run. Tempers flared, fatigue set in, and relationships soured. Power struggles intensified across all band members, eroding the once unified front Frey and Henley had presented. Songwriting sessions ceased to be casual and enjoyable, they became battlegrounds of ego and competition. Frey reflected later that neither he nor Henley wanted to risk suggesting anything less than brilliant, turning their creative process into a strictly business affair. Meanwhile, Felder grew increasingly discontented as he felt his musical contributions were sidelined, seeing himself merely as a highly skilled session musician rather than an integral band member, a sentiment he often expressed to Frey and Henley. This dissatisfaction spilled over not only into the studio but also into mundane matters like ensuring equitable treatment such as hotel accommodations while on tour. Even Joe Walsh, initially enthusiastic and a newcomer to the band, began to share in Felder's frustration with Frey and Henley's leadership. By 1977, Joe had even discussed forming a new band with Randy and Felder, only to realize later that this idea was nothing more than idle talk, leaving him bitterly disappointed. Timothy Schmidt, who joined later, found himself caught in the middle of escalating conflicts within the band, expressing sadness over the turmoil he inherited upon replacing Randy. Frey endeavored to maintain harmony for a while. As the band's primary decision-maker, he shouldered the responsibility of ensuring smooth operations and managing egos, albeit unsuccessfully. He admitted to trying to subordinate himself to ease tensions and enhance productivity, yet the effort proved futile. Eventually, the strain became overwhelming. Frey described feeling like he was trapped in a daily routine akin to school, dreading each morning's start. The once fulfilling process of creating music had devolved into prolonged and angst-ridden recording sessions for the long run, transforming from a passion into burdensome duty. He questioned whether dedicating all his energy and creativity to this endeavor was worthwhile in the long run. While the Eagles could continue indefinitely, Frey pondered if years of viewing his work as a chore would drain all enjoyment from it. A solo career increasingly appealed to him as an alternative path. Frey had been contemplating leaving the Eagles for some time, but it was a challenging benefit performance for California Senator Alan Cranston on July 31, 1980 that ultimately pushed him over the edge. Tensions that had been simmering beneath the surface erupted into public view when Felder expressed his indifference towards Cranston at a press conference prior to the show. Enraged, Frey confronted Felder backstage before they took the stage, leading to a heated exchange of threats throughout the entire concert. Frey recalled the intense moment on stage, where Felder provocatively remarked, "Only 3 more songs, till I kick your ass, pal," to which Frey defiantly responded. Despite performing Best of My Love, outwardly, inside both men were seething with animosity, knowing a confrontation was inevitable. After the show, the conflict escalated into a physical altercation between Frey and Felder, solidifying Frey's decision to leave the band. Shortly after, he called Henley to inform him of his departure. Although Henley was devastated and surprised by the abrupt end of the Eagles, he understood Frey's resolve and had no desire to continue without him. Thus, with that phone call, the era of the Eagles came to an unceremonious and definitive close. After branching out on his own, collaborated closely with Jack Tempchin, known for co-writing Eagles hits like Already Gone and Peaceful Easy Feeling. He embarked on his solo career with the release of No Fun Allowed in 1982, rediscovering the joy in his musical journey. Hits like The One You Love and I Found Somebody solidified his solo artist status, while Smuggler's Blues in 1984 brought him attention from Miami Vice's creators, leading to a role as a pilot for Smugglers on the show. This marked a significant rise in Frey's visibility as a solo artist. His career peaked with The Heat Is On and You Belong to the City, two of his most recognizable songs released during this period. Recognizing Frey's acting talent, movie and TV producers sought him out for roles. He starred in Let's Get Harry, and had a notable arc on Wise Guy. Despite starring in his own TV series, South of Sunset, in 1993, the show didn't succeed, leading Frey to lose interest in acting. Instead, he refocused on music, his enduring passion. In 1988, he released Soul Searching, featuring the top 40 hit True Love, though health issues prevented him from touring extensively, except for guest appearances with the Little River Band in Australia. In the early 90s, he released Strange Weather, accompanied by a video and live album. Though overshadowed by grunge at the time, the album's strong material remains a testament to Frey's artistry and continues to resonate today. In the late 80s and early 90s, Frey experienced significant changes in his life, starting with a newfound dedication to fitness. In 1986, a severe bout of diverticulitis landed him in the hospital, prompting him to overhaul his lifestyle. He quit drugs and embraced a rigorous workout routine, resulting in a noticeably toned physique. His transformation was so impressive that a gym even approached him for advertisements. His song Living Right became a personal anthem of sorts, and while filming its video, he met dancer Cindy, whom he married in 1990. They welcomed their first child, Taylor, in 1991, followed by sons Deacon and Otis in the years to come. His growing family gave Frey a fresh perspective on life. These personal changes paralleled a shift in his professional outlook. Initially adamant that the Eagles were finished after their split in 1980, Frey began to reconsider a reunion by the early 90s. Though he was hesitant and a 1990 attempt fell through due to scheduling conflicts and personal issues among the band members, his attitude was softening. Content in his domestic life, he felt no rush to return to the band's grueling dynamics. However, rumors persisted, especially after Frey and Joe Walsh toured together in 1993 as the Party of Two. The turning point came in 1994 when the Eagles reunited for Travis Tritt's Take It Easy video. The camaraderie and fun they experienced rekindled Frey's interest, and he agreed to the Hell Freezes Over project. To his surprise, the reunion was a monumental success. The album, TV special, video, and tour proved that the Eagles still had immense appeal and sounded better than ever, more focused and sober than in their heyday. Although the tour was briefly halted due to Frey's recurring diverticulitis, requiring part of his intestine to be removed, he bounced back and completed the tour with determination. After the tour concluded in 1996, Frey set aside his solo career, despite the absence of immediate plans for the Eagles. He remained active, taking on acting roles such as Arizona Cardinal owner Dennis Wilburn in Jerry Maguire later that year, and appearing on Nash Bridges in 1997. In 1998, Frey ventured into the business side of music, co-founding Mission Records with attorney Peter Lopez. He participated in various benefits, including Tiger Woods' Tiger Jam charity concert with the Eagles in 1998 and as a solo act for the next 2 years. The late 90s were significant for the Eagles, as they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1998 and named the Artists of the Century by the Recording Industry Association of America in 1999. Their greatest hits, 1971 to 1975 album was recognized as the best-selling album in music history. The Hall of Fame induction was particularly memorable, featuring the only performance where all 7 current and former Eagles members played together. These landmark performances of Take It Easy and Hotel California were not the last. In 1999, Frey rejoined the Eagles with Felder, Walsh, Schmidt, and Henley for Millennium celebrations in Los Angeles. The Eagles' lineup changed again shortly after these performances when Felder was dismissed. Frey and Henley viewed Felder as a disruptive presence, leading to his firing and a subsequent acrimonious lawsuit, which was settled in 2006. Instead of hiring a replacement, Frey opted for a backup musician, Stuart Smith, to fill out their sound during concerts and recordings. As a quartet, the Eagles embarked on the Millennium Tour in 2000 to 2001 and later the Farewell I Tour in 2003, which produced a DVD. This tour evolved into the California Tour in 2005, where they continued to sell out shows across California, maintaining their success without extensive travel, except for a brief stint in Hawaii. For a while, it seemed this might be the end, as Frey spoke about the fitting nature of concluding their journey in California, where it all began. Eagles fans around the world were thrilled to learn that their favorite band had not reached its end. After a brief hiatus in early 2006, the Eagles resumed touring. Frey also performed several solo shows in July 2006, even as he and the band were busy finishing their first new studio album in over 25 years, Long Road Out of Eden. This double album was a substantial offering that debuted at number 1, proving the Eagles were still at the top of their game. Critics praised the album, awarding Glenn's instrumental, I Dreamed There Was No War, the accolade of Best Pop Instrumental Performance. The Eagles supported the album with a series of tours over the next few years. During this period, Frey also managed to release his first solo album since the 1990s, After Hours in 2011. In addition to the original title track, it featured covers of classic songs, many of which were favorites of his parents. Frey's tour for the album included stops in the United States and Australia. The Eagles released a band biography, History of the Eagles, in 2013 and launched an extensive worldwide tour to promote it, even bringing Bernie Leadon back for the shows. The band's chemistry seemed stronger than ever. The tour concluded in the summer of 2015, the same year the Eagles received the prestigious Kennedy Center honors. Outside his career, Frey was deeply committed to his family, stating, "My first commitment is to them." He also developed a passion for golf, excelling in celebrity and pro-am tournaments. Glenn participated in benefit tournaments to raise money for causes like leukemia research, child abuse prevention, the Aspen Youth Experience, and the Children's Christian Fund, with a particular focus on children's charities. In November 2015, Frey underwent surgery for the intestinal issues that had troubled him since the 1980s, then was placed in a medically induced coma. However, his recovery was complicated by medications for rheumatoid arthritis, which weakened his ability to fight off pneumonia, a side effect of the treatment. Combined with his acute ulcerative colitis, it was too much for his body to endure. Glenn Frey passed away on January 18, 2016. He left behind a lasting legacy, living on in the hearts of the many he touched. And there you have it. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the remarkable life and career of Glenn Frey. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos just like this. Take care and bye for now.